Politicians love to treat school employees like punching bags these days.
Sound familiar? MEA President Iris Salters said the very same thing back in 2008. But school employees might feel like punching bags because they consume the largest portion of state tax revenues. In fact, 43% of state revenues go to schools. That's about 3 times more than any other state expenditure. It only makes sense lawmakers might start with the biggest piece of the budgetary pie when they need to cut their spending.
But they're ignoring that teachers and school support staff are sharing in our state sacrifices.
The Michigan Department of Education says we spent 6% more on school employee pay in 2008 than we did in 2000, even after adjusting for inflation. That's for roughly the same number of employees, with 7% fewer students. Private sector compensation over the same time period went down more than 5%.
They're doing more with less to make sure students get a great education.
There's no way to measure this claim unless you consider this is the first year since 1995 that the state actually cut its portion of school funding. And when adding up state, local, and federal school revenue since 1995, schools have 33% more money, even after adjusting for inflation. That works out to be about $3,000 more per student.
Class sizes are on the rise, but supply budgets aren't.
The Michigan Department of Education says from 2008 to 2009, the average number of students per teacher has remained steady for the last decade.
In fact, the average teacher spends more than $500 per year out of pocket on basics like books, paper, and pencils, just so students can learn.
This claim is impossible to confirm or deny because it appears to be based on an informal survey from the MEA's Facebook page. Until someone actually collects this information, we'll never know the true amount teachers themselves spend on supplies.
And that's on top of constant cuts to their salary and benefits. School employees have agreed to almost $1 billion in concessions over the past 3 years.
While some school employee groups may have made real concessions over the last 3 years, the State Department of Education says Michigan taxpayers spent $39 million more paying school employees in 2008 than in 2006. So it appears that any positive effect for taxpayers from certain school employees' concessions were wiped out by pay increases for others. In fact, Michigan's teachers are the highest paid in the nation when factoring in relative state wealth.
But the politicians in Lansing don't care. They'd rather cut more from schools than end inefficient government contracts or tax breaks that don't create jobs.
While we cannot confirm or deny if politicians care, we agree and in fact have shown empirically targeted government tax breaks like those doled out by the Michigan Economic Development Corporation don't create jobs and negatively impact the state's economy. Eliminating the MEDC and its tax incentive programs would save about $480 million. Of course, that would only cover the pay for 3% of the public school workforce.